Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, I'm going to be profiling for you my Malefic deck. Now this deck I have been working on, trying to come up with a build. I remember seeing the deck being played back when Skill Drain was a 3 of. I played some variations of Skill Drain decks with the Malefic Engine. That was a long time ago. However, the deck actually is pretty good nowadays, I found out. I have been testing it, trying to come up with a build because nobody's really touched the deck in quite some time. And I've actually come up with a build that I'm actually pretty proud about. It works fairly well. It's a stun variation, I guess you could say, of Malefic's, and it works out quite well. So without further ado, let us get into the deck profile, guys. So, first off, your 3 Malefic Cyber End Dragon, which is your big 4,000 beater in the deck. Now you can make him untargetable by using things like Mound of the Bound Creator, or you can just have him on the field with Necro Valley being a 4,000 beater. But either way, he works out pretty well in the deck as a 3 of. Next we run 3 Malefic Cyber Dragon, and these are the only Malefic monsters that you have to banish like something from your extra deck or your main deck. We're not running Malefic Rainbow, Malefic Blue Eyes, Malefic Red Eyes. I'm not running any of that. These are the ones that have, I guess you could say, are the best. Malefic Cyber Stardust Dragon can protect your field spell. Malefic Cyber End is just a big beater that can be untargetable because he's level 10. At level 10, like I said, if you have Mound of the Bound Creator out in the field. So these guys work well overall. Malefic Cyber End Dragon's a level 8. We can use him for Tradein fodder as well as that you can help if you have a Kaiju, because we do run a mini Kaiju Engine in the deck. He can help you go for rank or level 8 exceed plays as well. So different things these guys do, but you run 3 of each. Staple in the deck. We next run 1 Malefic Truth Dragon. I know people don't really like Malefic Truth Dragon, but you can get him out very easily, and I like him as a 1 of. He's pretty useful. We run 2 Malefic Parallel Gear. People probably are like, why the hell are you running this card? What does this card do? Well, it serves 2 purposes. So what it does is it serves to synchro summon with Stardust Dragon to go into a synchro play of either Dragonic Corrupt Nether Soul Dragon. I can never pronounce his name, but Corrupt Nether Soul Dragon. Or it helps you go for Leo of the Sacred Trees. So it helps you go for either or. But it also, if you have Malefic Parallel Gear on the field. So say you have Truth Dragon in hand and you have a field spell. You set the Malefic Parallel Gear, it gets destroyed. You bring out your Truth Dragon. So it's another way of getting Truth Dragon out of your hand instead of worrying about your other Malefic monsters getting destroyed. So this works out very well. To have the Parallel Gear is another way of getting Truth Dragon out of your hand. And Truth Dragon can put in work, especially if you have Mound of the Bound on the field. Psh, he's just a 5,000 beater that has some good effects. So that's where you run the Malefic Parallel Gear. You don't need to run, you can run 1, but I prefer 2 in the deck. Next we run our Kaiju Engine, which we'll talk about now. So we run the Kaiju Engine, which is 3 Gamma Seal, 3 the Mad Flame Kaiju, so Doggeron, so 3 Doggeron, and 1 Ultimate Great Moth's better cousin, as I call him, because he's like an Ultimate Great Moth, but he's better than Ultimate Great Moth, so he's Ultimate Great Moth's better cousin. It's a joke, I know. Bad jokes. But these are all important, and the reason they're all important is they're all level 8s. They're all level 8s, which means they can go for exceed plays into level 8s with Malefic Stardust Dragon. Number 2, if they get clunky in your hand, you can use Tradein to pitch them and draw cards. So that little engine works fairly well. Now, I found out from playtesting that I prefer, instead of running 6 Kaiju, so just the Doggeron and the Gamma Seal, I preferred running a 7th Kaiju. So I just decided to run the Dustin Kaiju, the Moth one. So I decided that this ratio worked better than running 6. You can try it out for yourself, but from playtesting a lot with this deck online and in real life, yeah, this ratio works a lot better for me. So that's the little Kaiju Engine for now. We also run 3 Thunder King now that he's back to 3 of. This card helps you, gives you some stun aspect to your deck. So you can stun your opponent by not allowing them to search or not negating a special summon. So this guy backed up with the Malefic monster is pretty good. So we'll talk more about him in a bit. We run 2 Commandant as our last monster we run. Now Commandant's really good in the deck because you can pitch it for Necro Valley, search it out, and worst case scenario, if you already have a Necro Valley in hand and you have nothing to beat your opponent in with, he's a 21 beater with Necro Valley on the field. So you can run him as a 3-of. I know a lot of builds back in the day used to run 3 Necro Valley, but now we have Mound of the Bound Creator that works good with your Malefic Cyber End Dragon. So, I thought that 2 Necro Valley was better. So 2 Commandant to search it out. We also run 3 Tradein. You have a bunch of targets. You have your 7 Kaijus and your 3 Malefic Stardust. So 7, 8, 9, 10 targets for Tradein. So that works. This card is usually live, and it helps you just search through your deck, thin your deck out, do what you need to do. So 3 Tradein in the deck. We run, for your field spells, we run 2 Mound of the Bound Creator and 2 Necro Valley. Now you may say, well, Seto, this is a field spell oriented deck, you know, don't you need more field spells? Listen, I understand people think that this deck needs more field spells. I tried set rotation. That did not work out that well. I've tried so many different ratios of like, okay, do I want 3 Mound or Necro Valley, or do I want the Seal of Orichalcos in the deck? I tried Seal of Orichalcos, and it was nice, but it wasn't, you get what I'm trying to say. It didn't help out because I would sometimes want to go for the extra deck plays of like going for a level exceed play, like a level 8 exceed play a lot of the time. So it's okay, but it wasn't amazingly helpful. But you could run 1 Seal of the Orichalcos if you wanted to, and I may take something out for that later down the road. But the Mound is good. You have multiple ways of searching. You have 2 Terraforming I also run in the deck, so you can search out any combination of these. And on top of that, you also, like I was saying, you also have 2 Commandant to back it up. So you have multiple ways of searching out a field spell first turn. And I don't mind deck thinning, but I don't want to have so many field spells in the deck because I was getting a situation when I was running not even, different ratios of field spells. So like maybe 3 Necro Valley and 3 Mound, or maybe 2 Necro Valley, 1 Mound, 2 Mounds, and a Seal of the Orichalcos. I was running into these brick hands when I'm just like, I can't do anything. I literally can't do anything because I just drew a whole bunch of field spell searchers or field spells in my hand. It was not working out well. This ratio, I can thin my deck out and search out for the 4 field spells in my deck, and it's going to cause me not to get as cloggy of hands, but I can search out for my field spells very easily, depending upon my matchup, depending upon my situation. And I like the Commandant as a 3-of because sometimes you want some monsters to beat down your opponent, so I like that. Plus he can, if you wanted to, you could use him for rank 4s, I guess. But I just prefer this over running triple Terraform because this is a monster and it could mean I can use it for other things, for beating down or putting pressure on my opponent for, taking down some life points. So that's why I like the 2 Commandant, the 2 Terraforming, the 2 Necro Valley, and the 2 Mound. You could run different ratios. You could run maybe triple Terraforming and 1 Commandant, but I prefer the double Commandant, and it worked out well for me. And I've been perfectly fine with this ratio of field spell cards ever since. So try it out before you say, oh, I want to add something else to the deck. Like I said, you could add 1 Seal of the Orichalcos. It is something, it does make Thunder King a little bit bigger, but that's about all it does for you. Next, for your 1-ofs, we run 1 Twin Twister to get rid of back row. Depending upon your matchup, if you're taking this into like a competitive setting, you can definitely run Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclones easily in the deck. Another thing you could run in the deck too is, I should mention, you could run Ash Forehead, Ghost Ogres, all the Ghost Girls out there that you wanted to, Winter Cherries, whatever. You can run those in your side deck or your main deck. So you could take out different ratios of cards. Like I'll show you some cards at the end of the video that you could take out to replace with your Ghost Girls, your different Ghost Girls out there if you wanted to. So 1 Twin Twister for your other 1-ofs, 1 Pod Desires. Listen, you need the draw power in this deck. You run so many 3-ofs. I don't mind banishing 10 cards to draw 2 cards. You need draw power in this deck. So, especially if you get a brick hand of field spells, gosh forbid. So 1 Desires. I love Desires in certain decks, and as a 1 of in this deck, it is fine. We also run 1 Upstart Goblin, make it a 39 card deck, more draw power, yada yada yada. We also run 1 Dimensional Fissure. It's at 1 of, if it's at more, you run more. We run 1 Kaiju Interrupted Kaiju Slumber for just removal, and 1 Regeki for more removal, because you can blow your opponent's, crack your opponent's board. All right, now I set up my board, good. So that's how this deck works. So that's the Regeki and all that. You could also side deck a Dark Hole if you're going second. I should mention as well in the deck. Next up, we run for your trap lineup 1 Macrocosmos, 1 Skill Drain. If Skill Drain ever comes back to more than 1 of, you run as many Skill Drain as you can in this deck, hands down. 1 Solemn Judgment and 1 Eradicator Epidemic Virus. So, Macro, good card in the deck. Skill Drain, good card in the deck. Judgment, good card, and you don't mind how many life points you're paying. Usually you'll be low on life points sometimes, so a free Judgment is fine. You could run some of the other Solemn cards. I was trying that out in the deck, but I was kind of like, yeah. It just wasn't, they were always dead, were not working enough, were not putting enough work for me, and so I decided to go with traps that are stun variation. So Macrocosmos hurts most decks out there. Skill Drain hurts most decks out there. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. You have Darks to tribute off. You have Malefic. All your Malefic cards right here can do that. So you can tribute these off with this card. If they're a spell-oriented deck, which most decks are nowadays, you call spells, destroy their cards. If they're trap-oriented, like your Paleozoic matchup, you flip this and go off on them, and that kind of hurts them a lot. You also have the Judgment, which is just good and just came back to us, so 1 Judgment is perfectly fine in the deck as well. So that's the ratio I like of the traps. If I was to take things out for like Ash Forehead and Designator for the Grave when that comes out, and just other hand trap tech cards, I would say the cards you can take out if you're going first, if you know you're going first, is your Eradicator, your Regeki, and your Twins maybe. But besides that, you can take these cards out as well for anything else you want to in the deck. Your Regeki's a good card, but Eradicator is good, but it's only as good as the matchup. And I was trying out another virus card in the deck, I should mention, Full Force Virus in the deck. This works well in the deck, Full Force Virus does, if you want to use it. It's a very good card, and in certain matchups, this card is amazing. But Eradicator is a little bit better because spells and traps, just about every deck runs spells, and it's very intricate into the way their deck functions. So Eradicator is better than Full Force, but definitely side deck Full Force Virus. You see how this deck functions as a stun deck. Depending upon your matchup, you go into your whatever you need to in your side deck, side that in, all right, side deck out what you don't need because that matchup doesn't involve whatever, like, oh, it doesn't run a lot of traps, so I take Twin Twisters out. Oh, it runs a lot of traps, I side in my Twin Twisters and whatnot. You see how this deck works. Also, if you have evenly matches, go right ahead and run them in the deck. So that is the main deck. So let's go into the extra deck now. We run our 2 Fly Girls, who always bring me good luck. My Skyla and Winona, because I love them. So my 2 Fly Girls, we'll put them up here. We also run some Synchro monsters. We run Dragoniconnects Corrupt Nether Soul Dragon. I'm just going to call him Nether Soul Dragon. I never can pronounce them, but run 2 of this, 2 of it. And we also run 1 Leo Keeper of the Sacred Tree. So this is, Leo can also still come in handy nowadays. So 1 Leo. We also run for your level 8s, Hope Harbinger, Titanic Galaxy, Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand, number 68 Sky Snapholder, the Sky Prison, number 23 Lancelot, the Dark Knight. We also run a mini Galaxy Engine, so we run 1 Tachyon and 1 Full Armor. So Tachyon can sometimes help out depending upon the matchup. You can go for him, but you can go for Full Armor, overlay, pop a card on the field. It's just nice to have. We also run, and if you have Skill Drain, he's just a 4,000 beater, so that's kind of nice. We also run for your just fusions, so you have to banish, to use your Malefic Cyber End Dragon, your Malefic Stardust Dragon. So we run our Cyber End Dragons, 3 of those, and we also run our Stardust Dragon. So 3 Stardust Dragon. Yes, I love this rarity of this Stardust. So that is the extra deck. You run your 3 Stardust. That takes up a lot of your space, and that's why I'm not running anything else. I know people like running other Malefic cards in the deck, but they don't really help the deck out that much. They get clunky, and you want to be able to banish things from your extra deck. That's where Malefic's strength is. I can summon a big beater as long as I have a field spell on the card by just banishing a card from or sending a card from my extra deck. So that in there lies the power of the Malefic deck. But I hope you guys all enjoy this deck profile. It's a fun deck to play. It's a stun variation of the deck. It's pretty good, and you can easily side deck in and out what you need to face up your matchups. I would say, as we're heading into a format where we don't know the meta, this deck is pretty decent. I took it against different decks last night at locals for fun. I've played it against online a couple times with my friends. The deck is pretty good. It's not amazing. It's not broken, but if you like stun-based decks, and you don't know what type of stun-based deck to play in the new era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now that we have Thunder King and Judgment back, go right ahead and play this. If you have hand traps like the Ghost Ashes, I have Ghost Ogres, but I was kind of debating running them. I like them in the side deck depending upon the matchup. But if you have Ghost Ashes and you want to main deck those or evenly matches, because I don't own Ghost Ashes or evenly matches, run them in the deck. Just find room for them, and you should be perfectly good, and you will win games, and you will surprise people, and people will hate you. You will say, I'm having a good time stunning my opponent, but, you know, my opponent's not having a fun time. So, like I said, there's different ways you can play the deck. You can run things like Full Force Virus, which is a good card in the side deck. You could run your Anti-Spell Fragrances for your Pendulum matchups, because once you activate your field spell, so you activate your field spell, set Anti-Spell Fragrance, you're pretty golden right there, because now I have my field spell up for my Malefic monsters, and you can't get your Pendulum Zones. That's pretty good. And you don't run a lot of spells. Like, you can set most of the spells beside the field spells, and you can easily get to that. So you can easily side deck Anti-Spell Fragrance. I tried that out. But one of the optimal ways fields you can have, like, if you really want to, is having a Mound of the Bound creator up. So you have Mound of the Bound on the field. Malefic Cyber Dragon, I special summon it, banish from the extra deck, whatever. Then where is it? Normal summon Thunder King. So this 3 little card combo with whatever other 2 cards you have, be it a Judgment, a Skill Drain, a Macro, a Defissure, whatever, is a pretty decent board. It's not amazing, but it stuns my opponent. They have to think about how to get around it, because now they have an untargetable monster that can't be destroyed by battle. Okay, they can't be targeted. And I also have Thunder King on the field now, and I can negate your special summon, and you can't add cards from your deck to your hand. You can draw, but you can't search. So this little board right here is pretty good, and now that Thunder King is back at 3 of, this board even got better, because now you can easily add the Thunder Kings. When I saw the recent ban list, I was just like, yay! This is exactly what I needed for the deck profile. So, sorry for rambling on there a little bit extra, but I wanted to go more in depth into the deck. For you guys that actually want to take this into a competitive format. And I also understand that there's nobody really out there that's tried Malefics in quite some time. But yeah, till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling. Hope you guys all enjoy this video and me going in depth there at the end. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.